Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to do a preview for Pool B, the most important pool of them all, of course. It's the pool with the Springboks are in, and obviously the pool of death according to the World Cup. Yeah, interesting pool at world number 1 Ireland, world number 2 South Africa, world number 5 Scotland. And if you think that's not bad enough, then you've got the outsiders Tonga and Romania in the group as well. Let's start with Romania. I expect them to be totally outclassed, but they can cause a few headaches for the guys. But I think most of the teams should sweep past them quite easily. Not too worried about them. I think they're a decent side, but I think in this pool they're going to be totally outgunned. So yeah, then move on to Tonga. Obviously, bunch of guys coming in. Malakai Fekitoa, Peter Aki, Charles Pietau, a lot of former All Blacks in their team as well, and the former Australian players. They've got the ability. They didn't have a great run into the World Cup, and you expected a bit more of them. But yeah, and I think George Moala's card also sort of caught them as well, and his ban. But they are a team that really can sort of upset. If we look at past World Cups, 2011 Tonga beat France. Still remember we were in a car driving into Wellington for some reason when that game, we tried to make the game and we just didn't get there in time. We drove in and got to the TV as Tonga was beating France there. Of course, in 2007 the Springboks had that tough game in Lens where they almost lost against Tonga. It was very, very close. So yeah, they're going to be a very tough team for a lot of sides, and the key to beating a Tonga team is to strike early and not give them hope. I know that sounds overly simplified, but that is how you beat a team like that. You've got to take the game away from them. I think the Springboks will have the forwards to really put them under the pump. And you don't want to let the game get loose and get because that's where they'll feature. They've got a very physical team, and if they can keep their discipline, they can cause a couple of problems. I think Scotland and Ireland might have a few problems with them, but both teams have got enough quality to succumb the challenge. Then we move into the next one. Scotland, of course, South Africa's first opponents on Sunday. Scottish team is exceptional. The way Gregor Townsend built them up, they've got a number of South Africans in the team. That's not the reason why they're so good. They've got quality across the park. If you're talking about, Duan van der Merwe over there, talking about Finn Russell, the magician, who's going to be obviously guiding them as well. You've got a couple of other players as well. I mean, obviously the front row, VPNL, Pierre Skuman, is Xander Fagerson as well. A really powerful scrum. They've got good forwards, and yeah, they've got some magic in the back line. They've got some real pace out wide, so they can really cause a lot of problems for the Springboks as such, for all teams, and I think for Ireland as well. I don't think Ireland should write them off easily. I think Ireland get them a bit later. South Africa have them straight up, so I think this first game is going to be massive. But they're going to definitely be, they're dark horses. They're a team that can upset a lot of people and a lot of teams, and that's why South Africa are taking them so serious. Then, of course, looking at you're looking at Ireland, world number 1, a team that has played so much good rugby in the last couple of years, a team that's never got past the quarterfinals. Sorry to those that complained in the comments that people keep on mentioning that. It is a fact. We have to mention it. But they've got class and quality across the board. They've beaten everybody in the last couple of years. They are Six Nations champions. They are one of the favourites. They are world number 1. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with wearing that tag as well. Ireland have got a great basis. They've got two of the strongest teams. They've got the URC champions. They've got Leinster. They've got the European Player of the Year the previous year, Josh van der Flier. They've got Johnny Sexton, who just doesn't seem to age, and even though all the controversy around him is still a general for them, they've got a real good centre pairing. They've got the forwards, and they've got a strong scrum. They definitely are worthy of their number 1 tag and their favourites tag, so they're going to be a tough one to beat as well. And then you have the Springboks, who defending champions. Well, we've said a lot about them on this channel. They in exceptional form, very strong squad, great set pieces, and they've got a lot of flair on the outside. I'm not going to say too much about them here. There'll be other videos we'll concentrate on them as well. But the Springboks are obviously a big threat, defending world champions, and that's going to come down to it. So where do we see this pool going? Well, I think honestly, and I mean, this is just a prediction, and anybody who tells you they know what's going to happen doesn't know, because seriously, this is really too close to call. The thing is to take it one game at a time. I think the probably, if you want to build up, Ireland have probably got the better build up in terms of playing smaller teams and building their way up to the Springboks. South Africa going against Scotland, they'll have another approach, of going in against battle-hardened teams all the way. If they overcome Scotland, then they've got to play Romania, and then they play Ireland. So that Irish South African game will be the pool decider. I still think the Scots can be spoilers here. I'm not quite sure, and I'm saying with my South African hat here, so I think South Africa will beat Scotland. I think they've got the forwards that will overpower the Scots over 80 minutes and with the bomb squad. But I think the Ireland game is going to come down to a wire. And hopefully, it's such a tragedy that one of those three teams has to leave. And then we're going to see if Tonga are really the real deal, because if they do play a spoiling role, they can be very tough for any team in the pool as well. So this one's too close to call. If I had to pick two sides to go through, I'd say South Africa and Ireland. But there's a funny feeling that I've got that there's going to be a spoiler role somewhere here. I'm hoping it's not against the Springboks, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. If you put money down on this, I think it's too close to call, seriously. And I'd always back the Springboks, being from South Africa, but I think this is one that's going to be extremely close to call. And don't be surprised if Scotland calls an upset somewhere along the pool as well. Anyway, that's my call for Pool B. I hope leave your comments, tell me who you think is going to go through. Be really good to hear your views as well. Cheers.